All right, we're back. This is the YouTube exclusive. This is where everyone sees the stuff first, and this is where it's on main social media stuff. But yeah, right now we have Matt Harlan. Before we get into your fourth song, where can people find you?
I try to be accessible. Not to say that I'm always doing the best job of staying updated, but like mattharlan.com. I'm lucky enough to get that way back when. Think about buying website domains and stuff, and then you can find everything through there. And Matt Harlan Music, like on all the social things or whatever.
Oh, okay. So it's all centralized on Matt Harlan.
Try to.
Oh, awesome. That makes
I don't know that like it looks probably a little dated because it's like my last album. Everything changes so much. Probably not the way that the website's supposed to look, a couple of years ago, but it'll be updated again soon. I put this other one in.
Yeah, but they can find
the
Instagrams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if I may, about Anderson Fair, andersonfair.net, if you want to find out about, it's twice a month. So it's every other week.
Every other, yeah.
Usually, except for some months in the summertime.
Right.
So just go on to andersonfair.net and you can look at the schedule of when he's going to be playing there with, and the artists that he chooses to do the song swaps with.
Yeah.
Is this also the location name?
Yeah.
Okay.
That place. Yeah. It's one of the longest continually operating folk clubs in the United States. It's been there around for over 50 something years.
Oh wow. Right. And where is it?
It's right behind Texas Art Supply off of Montrose or Westheimer or whatever.
Yeah, it's right behind Texas Art Supply, so like off like Welch in Montrose, basically. Like if you know where Rudyard's is, go across Montrose from Rudd's, and you'll run into Anderson Fair.
Oh, I don't know why I assumed it was like in Conroe.
No, it's there's the water in Conroe.
Okay,
no, that is true. There's a whole lot of cool stuff happening in Conroe. You know
okay,
what I mean? So you would be
Oh, that's not close.
I want to say, and this may be a rumor, but I heard that Lyle Lovett got his start at Anderson.
He did, yeah. And funny, they used to mention Conroe because he was like a Klein guy. He was in North, Houston. But yeah, that's true. I mean, he used to, you can hear some old radio interviews with him on KPFT where he's like, they asking him where he's playing. He's like, mostly just at Anderson Fair. And that was like totally true. Like he would work behind the bar there, and I mean, a whole lot of greats came up through there. Nancy Griffith, Robert O'Keefe, Lucinda Williams, Scott Clark, like towns, like it's like all these folks who knew that Houston was like such a hotbed of singer-songwriter thing when they first started out. That they've been going since the 70s or whatever, and I had no idea. And I was like, whoa, Houston! Not only that this place existed, but all the folks that were being incubated there in a sense, supported kind of. Were all of these people that at the time to me were like new heroes of of music and storytelling and stuff.
Well, I mean so that makes me wonder, when did Houston? I don't know if Houston ever got left behind or whatever, but okay,
no, it's true, man. Like I think it's had, I mean, it's been like a right. It's like but and like I said, it's still like very new to me when I started like thinking about it. But I've been thinking about it a lot recently, and Houston's got this culture, that not only like supports people who are kind of like up and coming at different times, across decades and stuff, because kind of like a whole collective of people, ended up in like white collar jobs, but they didn't like go to school for it because they started in the fields, they didn't like blue collar jobs, and they like got good enough at their job that they put them over there. So they're like the stuff they tend to support with like their sort of newfound positions and stuff tended to be like contemporary to their time, and like supporting older things just because they're just like we're gonna go have parties with support like all culture and music and arts that are coming out around each time. But it's Houston, so you also have this boom bust cycle thing that happens. So either in spite of or because of that whole thing, I feel like there's just this concentration of sort of like open arm support for all sort of people in general when things get tough and when they get like easier, and how much music and the arts and help Houston be a place to incubate and like support that stuff. But not always do people stay after they like develop, these ideals and these talents and stuff. It allows them sometimes in a way to get out and be the people that we know in the world and other places. And so, but it, kind of is under the radar in terms of them having started, here.
I mean, I kind of like that, but at the same time, like no one ever thinks about Houston as a
And that's
music hub, which
right.
kind of
I think that's changing right now. Honestly, I feel like even and then maybe this has happened over at different times, and I can't claim to know what happened earlier, but I feel like right now it is really like undergoing some sort of like evolution where like like I said, if this hasn't happened before, it definitely appears to me to be happening right now, where it's reforming and becoming a solid thing. And my hope is that we've learned from each of those past boom bust cycles, and like we can make this one stretch out a little bit more, or we can make it like be the time where we flip that script and change the whole story of it. And instead of being like, it's too bad, Houston gets skipped or like stupid like that, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, we're celebrating what Houston has been this whole time, and now other folks know about it. And I think the chance to do that is kind of right now.
Yeah, no, I agree, and hopefully,
I agree with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I've been trying to figure out because I shoot in Austin often,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, and I see all these touring acts, they literally skip Houston. It's like, dude, you guys are coming from Louisiana, and then you go straight up. Like,
right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things, and it's funny. I've heard the explanations for it finally start to address like realities rather than like just like short little things that blow off like what's really might be really happening. They're like, oh, it's the way it's just geography and economics. You're like, yeah, maybe at one point, but now geography has changed because we all know where everything is. We can plan better, and economics is just always kind of like going to be something that's going to be willy-nilly. So now that we've fixed one of these things through connectivity of all these different communities with each other, we know where things are happening, and it's no longer that. So you got to take that hard look at yourself, be like, oh right, how many times have you gone to go see one of these bands that finally didn't skip Houston, and you were so excited to see them because you're like, wow, weird, this band finally came. And all the people from all the different facets of Houston are in the same place at the same time, and you just talk the whole time and don't pay attention to the band. And the band gets this feeling like you didn't care, but maybe you really, really cared. It was just that you happened to be in the same place with all your friends finally, in such a sprawling, metropolis that doesn't happen all the time. And they kind of converge and like, yeah, it's like a celebration. But the band doesn't feel the celebration part. They feel fucking neglected and they walk away. And so like, maybe that's a thing that, we have to speak with ourselves. We don't expect the band to change, what they're feeling. We should be like, hey, let's not talk. Let's hang out afterward, or something. Something as simple as that might help us stop getting skipped, people not look at us as like people who don't care, because we care a lot and we just don't always show it to people who are passing through, I think.
Yeah, no, I can 100% agree with that because yeah, you know what I mean? And there's so many different genres out there, and when one band comes in and brings all of them, it's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. It's like, oh shit, they're playing.
It always happens, man. It always happens. Like something big. I mean, like, I missed the Drive By Trucker show when they finally came here, and I really wanted to go, but I did read like Patterson Hood's screed like on like the next day, like the Houston Chronicle article, following it, where they were like, nobody paid attention to this band that everybody's been wanting to come here for so long. And not only the artist, but but the local paper, like said about reported on it. I'm just like, we need to do better, y'all. Like,
yeah, no, it's definitely in a sense show etiquette, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, but I haven't seen you guys in so long.
Exactly.
Then I haven't seen this band. It's like, and then I think that's
Totally.
just like all of us having ADD.
Right, yeah, exactly. You can't blame Houston for being
Right.
Just a symbol of like what's happening in the rest of the world. You can't blame us for that.
Well, Sean, do you have any more questions before we get into the final song?
No, I was just gonna ask what is your last song?
That last one. Streetlights, I think. No.
Wait, is that the one that we did last?
We just did Streetlights.
Yeah, that was the last one. Oh, what am I doing now? I thought you meant like the previous one. No.
What song would you like to play now, Matt?
I'm going to play that one. Then we do what we're talking about. I'll make sure that I'm in tune. Okay, so this is kind of parenthetical. This song actually had like a parenthetical title, which I always kind of love because you don't get to do it all the time.
And this one isn't recorded yet anywhere, right?
No, I recorded it at my little studio. I haven't released it though. And I did like a voiceover where I read the story through this like weird fuzzy telephone microphone, and I just did it like one time through to see. It was kind of like just as a joke because I was like doing weird shit, and I never had the chance because I just started learning how to use this stuff and do these things, and the benefit to me was like I could do whatever I wanted. I didn't have to be like, oh, that mic goes there, and if you want to put somebody else, you're paying this much an hour for a studio. Like if I wasn't doing that, I just put that mic somewhere else and see what it sounded like, or talk through a fuzzy telephone mic and recite the story that inspired the song. But it's called Hammer Toss, called my 1992 parentheses Vintage Quaaludes.
I'm gonna have to get that from you.
Yeah, you'll have to text that to me later.
Yeah. It's how I like antithetical songs. Made me feel like I'm living in the 70s or whatever. You know? That's appropriate for this tune. Let's see. Hammer Toss, 1992. Who knew this couch came with its own vintage Quaaludes? My God, I'm in love again. Moon-eyed and deer-eyed and laughing like twins at our own jokes. Ain't no one knows that we're built from the punchlines, half-drunk musicians blowing carnival smoke. My God, I'm in love again. Tube spear, watch it disappear, frame by frame like my college career, my lost sense of danger. Had a half-cousin back home in Pittsburgh, made his peace with a great rearranger and touchdown in Houston. Who knew this couch came with its own vintage Quaalude? My God, I'm in love again. I dreamed I was flying, sent me to bed without dying and left me to wander away from the light. Just like one rocket lifting off silent, the other one circling the drain. They told me this whole fucking state was just too far away. But amen for the moon. Bless those astronaut wives letting old dogs run off with smoke. But you know I've been thinking, I've been thinking about death again. Oh, but not a dying, just knowing, and not knowing when. Slits like a wrist that starts twisting until somebody says we all will, but we may not tonight. So let's hang from the rafters and shoot out the lights. Vintage Quaalude. My God, I'm in love again. Oh, but I'll never play tube spear again. Watching fluorescent bulbs turn to dust inch by inch, let them disappear. I'll be patiently waiting right here for my lost sense of danger. It's weird, I know.
No, I was laughing the whole time. I was like, oh, okay. I'm hearing it. Yeah. Now, yeah. See, hearing the backstories of stuff.
Yeah,
what makes
well,
it.
that's why, I felt like that was so important. That's why I had to read it alongside of it.
So it's not released. We can't
But
hear
it's
this
important.
story.
Like I've got, strangely on my Bandcamp, because I try to do this little weird thing that I immediately had to not abandon. I just kind of left it up there, but I was going to I asked people to vote on, because I recorded 20, 30 songs in this my little back studio shed area. And then was mixing and kind of learning to do all of this stuff. I don't know how to do it, but I'm learning. And I was asked okay, which ones, would you pick to go maybe on a vinyl record? Cause I finally want to, release something on vinyl. We have a vinyl manufacturing plant in Houston.
Yeah.
And
Is that 610 or
yeah, and 610, yeah, exactly. But you can only put so many, unless you want to spend, more and more and more money. Like if you want to do a double, disc thing, it gets more expensive. So I wanted to, kind of shave them down to, enough that would fit on there instead of 20 or 30. And, but I put it all up on Bandcamp and after vote, and then we're going to take them all down and shuffle them and do this release. But then a whole lot of stuff happened with personal life, got divorced and all these things. And I wasn't focusing on releasing an album, but it's still up on my Bandcamp, I think, or even on my SoundCloud. Which, if you ask me whether it's my Harlan music or not, I don't know if I could tell you because I don't remember. I said that one up a long time ago, but
we'll find it.
But it's there. And before it goes down, if somebody voted for it, yeah, you can sort of hear it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for showing up, man, and I can't wait to have you come back and have more stories and a new lineup of freestyle songwriter stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
cool. Well, thank you.
thank you.
everyone showing up, and
you go.
until the next one.
Yeah.
Quick hint, it's Shane.
Hey.
Yay.
Hey.